Does that mean we're ready to go?
Well, here we are.
Late.
But better late than never.
But it's sunshiny.
Look at this day that we're enjoying today.
It's beautiful out there.
As we discussed earlier this morning.
And I would say, this first story.
Whoops. Well, and welcome to Kelowna Now, live streaming on YouTube and X, and your top stories here this afternoon. And wouldn't you know it, this is all over the internet today. Use of the Emergencies Act to end the Freedom Convoy protest infringed on Charter of Rights, says a federal judge.
Yeah, so the federal government's invocation of the Emergencies Act in 2022 to clear away truckers protesting COVID-19 restrictions was unreasonable, a judge said. It infringed on provisions of the Canadian Charters of Rights and Freedoms, the judge declared. Justice Richard Mosley said there was no national emergency justifying the use of law, which was employed for the first time in Canadian history to force the Freedom Convoy protesters out of the downtown area. The judge's comments were in response to a case brought by the Canadian Civil Liberties Association, Canadian Constitution Foundation. It's been a long time coming. That's a long time for that to come through. They argued, and that's funny because they did a hearing and they said it was okay. They argued that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's decision to invoke the law did not meet the legal threshold. The groups have since celebrated the judge's ruling, although Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland, however, said that they don't agree with the decision, saying the Emergencies Act was a necessary thing to do. She did make a statement, and I think we have the video in the story. You can go watch that video as well. Even Jagmeet Singh is coming out and saying, well, we didn't really want to do it either. So Alberta's Danielle Smith had a statement too. You can find all that stuff on X. You can find almost everything on X these days. X has become definitely the world platform, or the town hall, as Elon Musk has said. Lots in this story too. I encourage you to go on Kelowna Now and read this story in the fullest. Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre had lots to say too, and he was broadly supportive of the protesters and took to X this morning to attack the Prime Minister following the announcement. He said he caused the crisis by dividing people. Then he violated the Charter of Rights to illegally suppress citizens. And again, you can go on KelownaNow.com. And again, you can go on X and you can find tons of comments on this. I do believe a lot of people in Canada are not surprised at this ruling.
Yeah, and, well, I think some people will be surprised, as maybe, I don't know, I mean, because of the Rollo Commission, their decision.
To me, it always seemed odd to be enforcing our highest level of response for parking violations,
a few bylaws,
maybe some excessive disorderly conduct and stuff like that. But all the other provinces seem to deal with any of those things without invoking any special measures. So it seems odd.
Well, based on today's judiciary decision, I would imagine this is not the last time we'll be hearing about this story.
I hope not.
Kelowna-owned helicopter. It was a Kelowna-owned helicopter involved in that fatal heli skiing crash that we were talking about earlier this morning.
Yeah, sadly, that helicopter was transporting staff and guests of the Northern Escape heli skiing around 4 p.m. Monday when the accident occurred. The helicopter went down north of Terrace and claimed the lives of 3 people on board, while 4 others were transported to the Mills Memorial Hospital in Terrace. We did this story this morning as well, so we'll keep you updated as this story. Hopefully, the people in the hospital.
Yeah, and speaking of hospitals and the need for medical care, the game is changing for people needing a family doctor. About 1 in 5 of us don't actually have a family doctor, and now it turns out being on the Find a Family Doctor waitlist isn't even enough.
So the Central Okanagan Division of Family Practice is urging people to get up to speed with the Provincial Health Connect Registry. And so you can go to KelownaNow.com and you can register on there. We are trying to get a hold of this group so that we can get somebody in for a live stream. So we hope to have more on this story. The organization says people on the wait list will have received an email by now asking them to register the new system if you go on there and register.
I don't know if you noticed, but something I've been thinking about over the last few months. Every now and then, when I drive by a place that used to have like a walk-in clinic,
A Medi Center and something.
Yeah, and there just don't seem to be nearly as many.
Well, I think one of the things that when I spoke to a doctor is that one, they get paid more to work out of the hospital, and two, there's not enough doctors in the hospital. So probably learned a lot of people if they make more money in there and they pay a lot for their education systems, it's likely that the hospital has a need for them, and many of them probably went there. So they need to fix the medical system. For sure.
It's getting a little bit risky, isn't it? Don't want to get sick these days. BC student dubbed one of the world's brightest by Johns Hopkins Center.
Yeah, there's coming on top of the class, and there's being named one of the smartest kids in the world by the Johns Hopkins University Center for Talented Youth. Nicholas Take, an 11-year-old grade 5 student in West Bay Elementary School, was one of the 16,000 gifted students from 90 countries to take part in the Talented Youth Talent Search in 2023. He scored in the 86th percentile of grade 8 math and the 55th percentile in grade 8 students in the verbal category. The young mastermind took the test last year when he was age 10 in grade 5. So
wow.
There you go.
The next Stephen Hawking, maybe. The next Stephen Hawking, maybe. Those maths.
I see the typewriter as one of the images there. So,
well, the recent stretch of extremely cold weather made life difficult for cars on the road, and it wasn't too good for some of the boats on the lake either.
I think some of the boat owners are going to get a little double jeopardy there because they're going to not only did their boat sink, they're going to get a bill for getting it pulled out. The recent stretch of cold weather made it extremely difficult for those boats. Say several boats in the Manhattan Point either sank or became partially submerged or suffered significant damage in the frigid conditions, that said the city of Kelowna. So now they're making moves to get those boats out of there. Shoreline pile driving has been contracted to do the job for those operations. We're expected to last several days and are set to begin on January 24th. The city noted most of the vessels needing removal were attached to non-compliant moorage buoys, something that was under the microscope last summer. And so they let you do that. Like, tourists, they get to moor their boats out there, but they don't allow that here. So they're basically, they're going to pull the boats and debris out of the lake over the coming days. Information on each vessel, because you got to put a little tag on the side of your vehicle. It's easy to trace who owns it. Will be documented and shared with the Coast Guard, and Transport Canada assists with owner identification. And then guess what? You're going to get a bill. Vessels will be stored by the contractor for 60 days, and owners will be able to claim them. And then you can also claim your bill. Owners will be charged for removal and storage.
That'll probably be more than the cost of getting towed off.
And if you don't go get the boat, you'll likely get the bill, plus your boat will get sold or disposed of.
Sounds like a nasty task to have to deal with now. All right, well, Highway 1 to close between Hope and Spence's Bridge for several hours tonight. That is what we're being told. Fully closed between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, in fact.
They'll be removing that temporary bridge at Falls Creek from a Jackass Mountain. And people are encouraged to take Highway 3 or 5 as alternative routes while that's happening. Says the crews are working directly with emergency service to facilitate their access to the site during the closure. And they'll be opening the two-way traffic 2 years after nearly 20 sites on the highway were heavily damaged. So this is all to do with the flood damage that happened a couple of years ago, right? So get your werewolf costume out.
Ooh, yeah. A full wolf moon is set to illuminate the night sky this coming up Thursday. They call it a wolf moon, I guess, because it's the first full moon of the year.
Michael J. Fox, a famous Canadian. Remember that movie? Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Maybe you can watch that night, eh?
That sounds like
Sophie says, yeah, I'll watch that. Teen Wolf.
Get some licorice.
She saw it, so there you go. When I say I've seen it, you say like, oh, they say that's bad grammar. And I said, well, no, it's like a movie scene. The next full moon after this one will be February 24th, 2024. So there you go. So that's it. Get your Teen Wolf movie. You got something else?
Nope. I think that's...
you sure?
Yeah.
Sure?
It was just quick. Very quick.
Quick. Lots of stuff going on. We'll see you tomorrow morning at
9 a.m.
9 a.m. And It's looking really nice out there, though. It's getting dark now, though. But
it felt like a spring day today, and more of that
we
is
do
on the
we
way.
do the nose tip news. We know we news.
You have a news for
we
news?
do the news at 4:00, and it's usually it's been dark. Now look, we look outside, and it's not that dark. So there you go.
Progressively,
so days are getting longer.
I was going to say about 3 minutes a day. Yeah.
No matter what, you can count on that.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to the sun rising and seeing you tomorrow morning. Then
Stay safe until then.